Before we start, here's a quick guide from Lord Garbelius. Please drop down in the description, give him your support, jump on his Patreon, check him out. Really good stuff. Thank you, Lord Garbelius. What's up, everybody? Soul here with another sort of Convallaria video, and today we're going to be talking about our girl, SP Safiyyah. She is here. We're excited to have her, to use her, and to see what the game's got for us with her in our team. So yeah, let's get right into her and look at what she can do for us. Now, first up, let's have a look at her trait. We got MS Combat Staff. This increases her attack of all allies within 5 tiles of the character by 5% when attacking targets with the mobile squad mark. Of course, that mobile squad mark is something she inflicts on enemies throughout her various abilities. After actively casting a support skills or passively triggering healing effects on an ally, it grants them one random level 1 attribute buff, lasting for 2 turns. At the start of the turn, it inflicts mobile squad mark on all enemies within 6 tiles of the character, lasting for 2 turns. This is pretty phenomenal, as you can see, where she's going to be doing a lot of supporting, healing, buffing, and then, a little bit of debuffing on those opponents with those mobile squad marks, more or less enhancing her allies' ability to do damage. So we see at 1 star, that's the value we get out of it. It's not terrible. It's a pretty decent trait at 1 star. However, it definitely gets better as we get higher, as all traits do, hers notably so. And so at 2 stars, this increases her attack for all allies within 5 tiles of the character by 10% when attacking targets with the mobile squad mark. So when she marks those enemies, her allies come in and do damage. They get bonus damage on those enemies just for being near her. It's fantastic. And at 3 stars, this is where it really ramps up and starts to kick off. The effect is improved when all allies within 5 tiles of the character attacks target with mobile squad mark, increases attack by 10% and deals 15% more damage, and piercing damage when performing assisting attack or alert. So units, like Ida, units like Momo, units like, Layla, they're doing a lot here. This is fantastic. They're really benefiting from working with Safiyyah, and this is where her trait really starts to take off. And then as you see at 4 stars, we get more of the same, and increases attack by 15%, and then deals 50% more damage, and then we get that bonus, the piercing and whatnot. After actively casting a support skill or passive effect on an ally, it grants them one random level 2 buff for 2 turns. And then of course you're inflicting mobile squad mark on all enemies within 6 tiles of the character, lasting for 2 turns. And at 5 star, that's where it just goes full ham, where it gets all allies within 6 tiles now with a mobile squad mark. When they're attacking enemies with a mobile squad mark, it increases their attack by 15% and deals 25% more damage for that piercing when performing assisting attacks and alert. Really, really good. And then it bumps up the amount of random level 2 buffs by 1. So now you're giving 2, lasts for 2 turns. And then of course it's all enemies within 6 tiles. Get that mobile squad mark that lasts for 2 turns. So for me, Safiyyah is somebody you absolutely want at 5 stars as soon as possible. However, 3 star is her minimum. You absolutely need to get her to 3 star to truly benefit from her trait the way it's intended. With that said, let's jump right into her ranks. The thing I love about Safiyyah here is we finally have a character that's been released that really doesn't have to have any Castalia used, and we'll talk about that as we go along. But right here at rank 1 on the left, we got Solemnity. Yeah, bah. This is an aura. It decreases attack of all enemies within 2 tiles of the character by 10%. And then that's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that. However, I suggest you getting what's on the right just for its utility, and that's frontline deployment. This is a support instant that causes a target ally to walk to any empty tile within 5 tiles around them, affected by special tile effects. So it's just letting you know, like, they're not going to do it for free. And yeah, so this allows you to move a character as needed wherever. It's fantastic. There's some utility in this. There's some niche situations where you might really want this. 3-turn cooldown, but no energy cost. We can take it. Now at rank 3, you have an option up here on the left called Sniper Cover Me. We've seen this in the Spirals of Destiny. We might have used it in this, that, and the third. But anyways, this is a support ability where the character gains 1 dodge, lasting for 1 turn, and performs alert in a 3x5 area in front, dealing magical damage equal to 150% of the physical attack and interrupting enemy's turn. After attacking, it inflicts Eye of Weakness on the enemy, lasting for 2 turns. And that Eye of Weakness, when attacked by a character of the countered role, their attack is increased by 20%. And so this is a decent ability. It has no energy cost, but it has a 2-turn cooldown. And for me, that's what kind of kills it. You're only getting the 1 hit. You're not getting multiple hits. You're getting a single dodge. Cool. And then, yeah, like I said, 2-turn cooldown. That's a big cooldown for this alert skill. It doesn't do enough for her. It doesn't overtake her other abilities and what they can do for your team, in my opinion. So this is one that I would skip. I'd get what's on the right here. It's just Safeguard Protocol. This is a passive, and in a turn, it heals 2 allies in battle with the lowest HP by 40% of her physical attack plus magic attack. When executing standby, it triggers an additional time, healing 20% of the physical attack plus magic attack. This is really, really good. I love this. This allows her to be a healer and to do a lot for your team. And yeah, this is what I would absolutely go with all day, every day at rank 3. Now at rank 5, you have Weak Spot Protection. This is a reaction when hit by an attack. Damage taken is decreased by 8%, and the chance of taking a critical hit is decreased by 30%. That's only subpar. What we have on the right here is Battlefield Healing. This is a reaction. When hit by an active attack, the damage taken is decreased by 8%. Upon receiving an active attack, it heals the ally with the lowest HP percentage within 2 tiles of the character by 100% magic defense. This is what I'd suggest you to get. This is a pretty good reaction, and this will get you through until she's 3-star. I think when she's 3-star, if she's not primarily healing, which that might be the case, she's going to pick up another reaction from her SP skill, is what we're going to call it, and she gets from her counterpart if you have her available. And yeah, so this is a decent reaction that will carry you into that point. I think you're going to want the other reaction at that point. At rank 7, you have access to her leadership aura, which is Crimson Memory. For all Knight Crimson allies in battle, increases their attack by 10%, their defense by 20%. This is, I guess, nice to have a Crimson, a Knight Crimson aura, but it really disappoints me because it doesn't have any extra effects. This is like a very generic aura, and so for me, it's not worth picking up. It's not good enough. It just isn't a great aura, in my opinion. It's the minimum. Over here on the right, you have Together With You. This is a support ability. It grants co-attack and co-defense to all allies within 3 tiles of the character, lasting for 3 turns. For Aria or Knight Crimson allies, the target count for co-attack and co-defense is additionally increased by 1. And so what that means is these are buffs, and that co-attack increases your attack by 5% for every ally within 2 tiles up to 15%. And then co-defense does basically the same thing, except for increase your defense by 10% for every ally within 2 tiles up to 40%. And so co-defense, it additionally increases by 1. It increases that count by 1, so it allows you to do more with this. This is what I'd suggest you get. It really keeps teams together, and you get the most benefit out of this buff, where you're stacking that it's co-attack and co-defense on these units. It's phenomenal. At rank 9, you have 2 options. Invigorating Strike on the right. It deals 100% physical damage and additionally recovers 1 energy. This is very alluring. I love being able to get that 1 energy and this, that, and the third. However, the game has a neat new icon where it suggests you to pick up a certain ability, and it will show you that on this Joint Strike, and I do believe that is what you should go for. This is a single target attack, deals 80% physical damage and inflicts mobile squad mark, lasting for 2 turns, and makes the closest ally within 3 tiles of the target perform an assisting attack, with a basic attack dealing 50% more damage. And remember, that trait kicks in, that assisting attack, and it becomes piercing, this, that, and the third. This is the way to go. You absolutely want this as her basic attack. It's phenomenal. At rank 11, you have Rebirth on the right. It heals all allies in battle for 30% of their HP and gains attack 1 and magic defense 1 for 2 turns. This ability seems decent at first. As you can see, the range is redonkulous. It doesn't matter who, what, when, and where. They're going to get the benefit of this ability. However, 30% HP, that's not bad, I guess, for a get out of jail card. But that attack 1 is minuscule. That magic defense 1 also minuscule. And then this ability costs 2 energy, which is decent, but has a 5-turn cooldown. That's massive. You know, this ability could have a tremendous amount of utility if it had a much lower cooldown. That cooldown absolutely kills it, and for that reason, I would absolutely suggest you get the Mobile Squad Trump Tactic on the left. And so this is a support ability. It inflicts eye weakness on the target, lasts for 2 turns, and causes the 4 closest allies with 3 tiles of the target to perform an assisting attack using their basic attacks, dealing 50% damage. And remember, with that trait, it becomes piercing. So this is really, really good. It's a 3 energy cost and has no cooldown. This is a phenomenal ability, and you're going to be using it quite often as you have Safiyyah in and around the team, avoiding damage and supporting from the back line. Really, really good stuff there. Of course, we have to talk about the SP skill. This is if you hit her to 3 stars, and then you have her counterpart, normal Safiyyah. And so this is Blade Chase as a reaction. When performs an assisting attack on enemies with Mobile Squad mark within 3 tiles of the character, dealing 50% physical damage, then heals a teammate with the lowest HP percentage within range, restoring 30% of the caster's physical attack plus magic attack, which can be triggered 1 time per round. And so this reaction is nice because since she's going to jump in and do some extra damage when her allies do damage, and then heal on the back of that. So for me, this is the superior reaction over the battlefield healing. However, you've got to get to that point in order to unlock it and have the other Safiyyah. Now, she has one ability she comes with, and that is her innate ability, Assault Order. Support, it grants Assault Order to the target ally for 1 turn and heals the target's HP for 60% of the caster's physical attack plus magic attack. As you can see, there's a theme. She's benefiting from both stats. And then Assault Order is when launching an active single target attack, the character performs an additional assisting attack with their basic attack, dealing 100% corresponding damage, and can be activated 1 time per round. This is a decent ability that you will find yourselves wanting to use at certain situations and times, especially when you go into those fights and you only have 1 concern, 1 boss to fight, 1 target to worry about. And so yeah, this is decent for that reason. Now, let's talk about her build. For me, I think it's interesting how the more linear a character is and how straightforward their playstyle is, the higher they tend to rank on tier lists. And so this character doesn't have tremendous versatility. She kind of comes in and does the same thing no matter where she's at and who she's with. And so she's not going to have multiple builds, in my opinion. You could try to focus more on the healing, but you're going to find she's going to do more of the same with all of her abilities, no matter how much you try to do different things with her. With that all said, I like to run, personally, obviously, Joint Strike, a reaction. Like I told you, the other one's superior at Battlefield Healing until you get it. I love Safeguard Protocol. And then Mobile Squad Trump Tactic is what I'm using as on her all the time. That way she's getting the most benefit of getting her allies to attack in tandem with her. And then you have Together With You, which is that buff where you're getting that co-attack, co-defense, basically solidifying the strength of your team by keeping them together. Now, for weapons, I think that Newborn Blade is phenomenal on her. You want to raise that physical attack as much as possible, and as well as her magic attack. However, I do think that Nocturnal Glow is her best in slot. I don't have access to it. I don't have it. And if you don't, there's nothing wrong with that. I think Newborn Blade is her next best option, hands down. I would absolutely put this in her hand and watch her go. And I do think that ever burning blade definitely has a place in her hands as well, because she is going to be hitting with those single target attacks, and it absolutely helps when you're using those active abilities like her basic attack and even her ability here, Mobile Squad Trump Tactic. However, Newborn Blade is what I would suggest you to go with primarily. For trinkets, you have several options, but I think her best in slot is Origin Hourglass. You're getting that physical attack and magic attack, and then of course you're getting the immunity to speed down and move down. So I really absolutely love this. This is what I would suggest you to put on her as number 1. I do think that Shield of Justice has a place. That's something that probably not everybody has access to at all, but this is a decent ability, a decent trinket to run on her. And then I think her next 2 trinkets that I would suggest, well, I could throw 3 on it. Honestly, Fancy Hat is a phenomenal trinket to put on her. You want that immunity to disrupt, and then when she's healthy, which that's the goal, you want to keep her healthy, getting that magic defense increased by 15% or whatever it is based on your star level of Fancy Hat is pretty good. And for me, Disaster Bottle obviously has a home here. This is a great debuffer, and this will allow her to throw out and debuff opponents and do more for the team. And then of course you can't forget or sleep on Old Scrolls of August. This allows her to further buff her team, give some speed, get another level 2 buff. It's an instant ability. This is a phenomenal item that definitely goes well in her hands. But I do think her number 1 best in slot item is that Origin Hourglass. That's my opinion, at least. And then for Resonance, I have found that I like the Sword and the Pinnacle. I don't get Safiyyah into the fray to where she's hurt often, and so she relatively remains unharmed most of the time. And this will have a flat increase to her attack and defense by 12% when she's unharmed. Remember, that attack is her physical and magical attack, further buffing her ability to heal and help her team in and around her. And so for me, this is the best resonance on her, period dot, my opinion. And then for the Tarot Whisper, I like Course of Fortune. I like that you have the ability to get that energy back, and of course you're buffing, you're doing piercing damage, AoE, damage reduction, you name it, but that energy back is the principal reason that I like it. I do not want to take a turn where I'm not doing anything or I stand by, and so this is what I prefer all the time on her. And then you want to try to target those physical attack up percentages and magic attack up percentages, and as you see, I've forsaken the extra effect here on this Course of Fortune. However, I have absolutely picked up magic attack and physical attack 10% on this, and so for me this is just good enough that it's worth running. Ideally, I'd want to have that extra Course of Fortune effect right here, because I want to get double the buffs, to have the double the chance and get that energy recovery going. I do think a strong second choice, in my opinion, is Redemption and Judgment. And so you want her in and around the team, and she'll be just close enough where you can get the benefit of this, where you're dispelling those buffs off of your opponents and then inflicting that judgment debuff if you have the extra effect on. I do think this is pretty decent. I have enjoyed that. I don't think there's anything wrong if you want to try extra healing from the Mercy High Priestess if you are focused on her healing in your team as a healer. And then I think that Guidance of the World is okay on her. I don't like skipping turns with her. I want her to stay active and attacking. And so for me, this is the best. This is best avoided. And then I would say another fantastic choice on her is right here, this Elegance of the Empress. And so this removes that debuff on the target and then adds a level 1 buff per debuff removed, and then it lasts for 2 turns, and then that additional effect allows her to do multiple times. If you have Nocturnal Glow, it's already doing that. However, if you don't have Nocturnal Glow, this is a fantastic choice, removing those debuffs on units that she's healing and helping, and then converting them to buffs. Mind you, level 1 buffs, but still good buffs for free. And so this is a fantastic option on her as well. With that all said, let's check her out in battle. Here we are, Tower 9-3. This fight, everybody's a little spread out, so it's a little less ideal for her, but I think we still can see what she brings to the table and does for the team. The goal is to try to get everybody as grouped up as best as possible. So we teleport Pamina over. Go ahead and use her basic attack there to clear him out. And we set up with Safiyyah. OG Safiyyah is what I'm going to call her right there. Momo sets up her alert ability. And here they come, trying to do some damage. We're not fussed. Shaking off those attacks. Coco takes that enemy out real quick. Get that co-attack, co-defense up. Momo doing Momo things. No damage there. Drop down Pamina, get the taunts on our opponents. Getting the hits out. Not doing piercing damage there. It's unlucky. Push that enemy back. Good kill from Momo. Getting that mobile squad mark out. Here we come with the joint attack. And Pamina just waylays. Pamina with the counter attack. Unfussed, not unfettered, not bothered by that attack. She shrugs it all off. She's so great. OG Safiyyah moving up with that HM agent. Go ahead and smack him up. He hits us hard there. Double the crit. So we move Momo over to join us. Get a nice Iron Pot stew going. Another joint attack. Now, as we can see, all the way from down here, Coco was able to hit the opponent. Really, really nice. That ability really is going to take off once Safiyyah is able to guarantee piercing damage on those assisting attacks with a higher level trait. My Safiyyah is 1 star, unfortunately. Getting that energy back up on Momo. As we see, Safiyyah stops, doesn't do anything, but still heals everyone around her as we reposition. I'm going to double the speed here because this enemy is staying away. We got to kind of reposition to get to him. Set up the alert. Pull him towards us a little bit. Still tries to back up. No, we're not fussed. Now, I've been bringing that Divine Archer with me for Clash and things like that. However, SP Safiyyah benefits from that tactic, Divine Archer, because she can guarantee he gets those extra hits in. And you're able to just call him in when and wherever you need, ensuring that she's got somebody in and around to help with those attacks. As you see here, we teleport Queen over, we call in the Divine Archer, and here comes SP Safiyyah, triggering the joint attack. And we get those attacks in. Thank you, Divine Archer. And so, yeah. There she is in all of her glory. SP Safiyyah. She's a phenomenal support unit that goes around in and around the team. Doesn't require to get in the front line. She's able to do those ranged attacks despite having a melee weapon. It's kind of curious. Regardless, she's helping and encouraging the team to attack in tandem, and she's healing them for doing so while weakening her opponents with those Eye of Weaknesses and mobile squad marks. Really fun, interesting unit that really can do a lot for your team, and she definitely does a great job as a healer, healing your team while doing so. So yeah, this is a unit I've had a lot of fun with. I highly suggest you going after her if she's alluring to you. If she's not, there's nothing wrong with that. I do think that she's going to have a special place with alert assisting attack team comps. And so with the Momos and the Laylas and things like that, I think what we're going to find is that she's going to absolutely destroy. Obviously, her trait allows them to do so, giving them that piercing damage. Can't wait to see that in action. But with that all said, thank you so much for watching the video up to this point. Huge shout out to my Patreon members. You guys make it possible for me to make the pools, to make the content, to provide these guides and information for everybody else. If you feel like supporting the channel and jumping in and helping us out, feel free to click that link to the Patreon down below. We'd be glad to have you. There's a Discord link down below as well. We definitely like to have you in our community discussing all aspects of the game and then some. And yeah, please don't forget to drop me a like and a subscribe. Thank you so much for making it this far. Good luck in all of your Sword of Convallaria content and gameplays and adventures. And until next time, I will catch you later. Bye.